First and foremost, I would like to take a moment to thank my friends over at GMG Motors over in Morgantown, Indiana for allowing me to take their 1991 Chrysler TC by Maserati and review it. Their website and location are in the description box below, where you can head to their site and check out all their used inventory. Please kindly remember that I do not work for or at any dealerships, so I cannot answer if a vehicle is still available or for sale. Here at Neighborhood Car Reviews, we love to explore cars of yesterday, and when GMG Motors in Morgantown, Indiana allowed me to come out and check out their 1991 Chrysler TC by Maserati, of course we jumped at the chance. No, the TC isn't the most popular car in the world. It's a hand-built car by Maserati in Italy, with its powertrain coming from Chrysler, what some would say would be the worst of the two mixed together, and basically what you get is a dressed-up LeBaron-looking convertible, minus rear seats, and costing over twice as much. Because of all this, we feel that digital preservation of this car in its final production year is incredibly important. So why exactly did Chrysler even build the TC? Well, Lee Iacocca wanted to change the blue-collar image of Chrysler and gear it more towards a luxury-oriented buyer with much deeper pockets. And what ended up happening was a development cost of $600 million, with each of the 7,300 unit production run costing the company $80,000. To be sure, the TC is a true world car. The bodies were built by De Tomaso subsidiary Innocenti in Milan, and struts and shocks by Fitchel & Sachs in Schweinfurt, Germany. The ABS system is by Tevs, and the wheels supplied by Formula One supplier Fon Metal. Ultimately, what could have been an absolutely amazing car ended up not at all, ultimately ending production in 1990, with all 1991 models being built in 1990, and our review subject was built in February. Today, despite all of its perceived misgivings, we will be taking a detailed, in-depth look at this very nice 1991 Chrysler TC by Maserati. This TC is painted in light yellow clear coat with ginger canvas convertible roof, in addition to the body color removable hardtop. Interior is the matching ginger leather. Full pricing is shown on screen, and the only option on this vehicle was a CD player. Sitting on a modified chassis from the Dodge Daytona, the TC followed a hand-built coach building production run with sheet metal stamping, starting in Torino, Italy, then shipped to Speroni, Italy for assembly, and finally to Innocenti's complex for final assembly in Milan. Let's talk about that top. So far, we have shown the car with body color hardtop in place, but the truth is, this car also has a manually folding soft top, and access to this, we removed the hardtop and the TC is now in its convertible form. A nice feature is the fact that there is no secondary top boot to remove or install, but rather a hard-shell body color tonneau cover. In order to raise the top, we need to press the upper portion of the tonneau button, raise the top completely and close the tonneau. Insert the rear guide pins into the seats and press down to lock. Open the header latches and latch the top headers. Press the lower portion of the top switch to pull down the pins. And here is a view of the TC with the canvas top in its upright and locked position. It is a fully manually operating top that locks securely in place and features full heated glass rear window as well as a fully lined headliner inside. All TCs were front-wheel drive, with power coming from the Mitsubishi sourced 3-liter 6G72 181 cubic inch single overhead cam 12-valve V6 engine. This engine is from the Cyclone engine series and is of an iron block and aluminum head construction, featuring full electronic multi-port fuel injection and an 8.9:1 compression ratio. It creates 141 horsepower at 5,000 RPM, 171 pound-feet of torque at 2,800 RPM. It can accelerate the TC from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 10.1 seconds, with 0 to 100 miles per hour reached at 34.5 seconds. The quarter mile is in 17.9 seconds at 78 miles per hour, with its top speed limited to 124 miles per hour. All TCs were equipped with a 14 US gallon fuel capacity and consumed 5.6 gallons per 100 miles driven, with an estimated total driving range of around 252 miles. EPA fuel economy figures are 16 miles per gallon city, 22 miles per gallon highway, and 18 miles per gallon combined. While the Maserati turbo 4-cylinder cars were available with either a 5-speed manual or a 3-speed automatic, our V6 car is equipped with the 4-speed UltraDrive A604 automatic transmission. Rear suspension consists of high control Fitchel and Sachs gas-charged shocks, rear trailing arm beam axle with coil springs and an anti-sway bar. Around the rear of the TC, the car looks a lot like the unrelated Chrysler LeBaron at first glance. The deck lid is short, with short overhangs, and frame an elegant and narrow full-width light bar tail lamp. Bisected down the middle is a chrome strip, in the middle is a Penta Trident logo with the Chrysler and TC by Maserati lettering to either side. Marring an otherwise clean rear end is the mounted third brake light, which isn't in any way integrated into the body and looks to be an afterthought. Reverse lamps are mounted low in the bumper, and the car features a single exhaust outlet. Along the profile of the car, especially with the hardtop in place, it is very elegant and aerodynamic. To be sure, the TC is not a bad-looking car from any angle. The TC sits on a 93-inch wheelbase with an overall length of 175.8 inches. Steering is hydraulic power-assisted vehicle speed-sensitive variable rate rack and pinion with 2.1 turns lock-to-lock and a 35-foot turning radius. Wheels are the 15 by 6-inch lace style, silver-painted aluminum alloys shot in P20560 VR15 Bridgestone HP50 all-season tires. Brakes are power-assisted dual diagonal 4-wheel discs with ventilated 10.2-inch front rotors and solid 10.8-inch rear rotors. They are assisted by a TEVS 4-wheel ABS system and can halt the TC from 70 miles per hour to 0 in a very long 206 feet. Front suspension of the TC is sport-tuned Fitchel and Sachs dual-path gas-charged ISO struts with an anti-sway bar, McPherson struts, and the lower A-arms. Around the front, the TC, still looking like a LeBaron, a car that cost almost half of the TC, has a bit thinner headlamps with a decidedly Italian flair to the grille. The headlamps are halogen bulbs framed around the hood, which opens around the grille with the grille attached. The latter is a large chrome-plated unit that looks straight off Maserati products of the day, with the Penta Trident badge proudly displayed front and center. Turn indicators reside below the headlamps, within the bumper, behind amber housings. Conveniently, the car features front cornering lamps which illuminate when the headlamps are on and one of the respective turn indications is called. The front end reminds me somewhat of the Acura Vigor of the same era.
Alrighty, before we get inside the TC, let's take a look at the keys here. Two sets of keys come with this car. You have a regular looking Chrysler key here, and then you have a longer key with a single blade, and it actually has the Pinna Trident logo in it. That's for the trunk. This is for the ignition and the doors. As you can see, there's no keyless remote entry on this vehicle, but it does have power locks. To unlock the vehicle, just simply sit the key in here and turn towards the rear of the car. And we're going to go ahead and hop inside. Real nice, thick feeling doors, real heavy and high quality feeling. Here is the interior of the TC, just a 2-passenger vehicle. As you'll see here, real high polished chrome stainless steel trim inside the door. Looks absolutely amazing. Take a look at the door panels. The door panels are covered in full leather. Very well done. Got this accent stitching that runs all the way across the entire trim of the door, running all the way down here into the armrest. It terminates back here. All this gathered leather in here is really nice. You've got these real nice chrome door pulls, power lock switches here. This part here is actually just fake wood, harvested from the plastic forest. It's typical Chrysler. You have your power mirror controls here, power window controls here, power locks here. That leather continues down here as well. It's looking really, really good. Real nice plush carpeting. You got some door pockets here. Nothing really in the tread plates. Down here in the lower driver's side instrument panel, you have your parking brake and your parking brake release handle here. Hood release is right here. You do have a dead pedal here, but only note 2 pedals. Does not have a manual transmission. It does have the Maserati branded floor mats here with the Pinna Trident is what they call it. This right here is your fuel door release. The little tag is gone, but that's what that does. Entry sills have no branding on them whatsoever. The seats are actually power adjustable. This switch in here, it's hard to see, but that's your power recline, but they have multi-function power switches. You do have a leather wrap tilt steering wheel. And let's take a look at those seats. Overstuffed armchair quality seats here. Very, very comfortable, very supportive. Pillowed leather. The headrests move up and down. And they also tilt front and back. As you can see, the seats are just really, really nice, soft and comfortable. Your seat controls are actually here on the center control panel. We're going to go over those here in just a few moments. Alright, now we're going to check out the interior of the TC in detail. There's a lot to check out in here. It's a very nicely equipped car, especially from this era. As you saw, very nicely power assisted steering. It's got heavy feedback for a sports car feel. It is variable assist. It is also leather wrapped. As you can see here, it does have perforated leather across the rim. Now this does not have that really cool 3-spoke or 4-spoke steering wheel that the early cars have. It has a more bland steering wheel here. It does incorporate an airbag, but it's lifted straight out of the Chrysler parts bin. You'll notice down here this little plastic wood trim. Normally that would house your cruise controls, but those are on your multi-function stalk. And in the center here we do have our horn buttons. Very Italian sounding. Alrighty, multi-function control here. This lever at the end controls your wiper washer control and intermittent wipers. You've got your cruise controls here, off, on, set, and resume. This is your set button here, and that's your resume. And of course you also have your turn signals and your high beams and flash to pass. Alrighty, over here, just a warning light module here. You got your headlamp control here. Tilt lever, steering wheel here, multifunction control over here. Got your ignition. And then very oddly, even though it's not a manual, this right here is actually your ignition release for release, or actually right here is your ignition or your key release. Alrighty, front and center, a full complement of gauges, black backgrounds with white lettering. They illuminate red at night. Over here on the left hand side, you have your oil pressure, coolant temperature, 125 mile per hour speedometer, and currently at the time of this recording, this vehicle is recorded 36,705 miles. And then over on the left, you have a 7,000 RPM tach, battery volts, and your fuel gauge. Alright, let's move over the top of the dash and see more details on it. As you can see, the leather continues all the way across the entire width of the dash. Your instrument binnacle is actually black in color to aid in low reflectivity. It does have contrast stitching, however. Door speakers up here. Defrost vents, all framed in leather. Stitched leather at that. Goes all the way across the width of the dash. Large piece of leather here in the middle. No passenger side airbag, however. Got your positional air vents here. Alright, moving down here, just a simple Chrysler parts bin climate control, but it's effective. Got your temperature control here, recirculate mode, AC mode, fan speed, panel distribution for panel, bi-lev floor, and defroster. And then moving down, as part of the premium audio system, you have this Chrysler Infinity sound system. And it does have a 5-band graphic equalizer, cassette tape player. Got this little joystick for your balance and fade. And as the only option in the vehicle, you have an in-dash CD player. Alrighty, moving down the center console. Plastic wood shifter. Has a nice feel though. And in here is actually just an ash receiver. And of course you have your Maserati Pentatrident logo here. And moving up the plastic wood trim, you have your defroster for the rear window and your driver and passenger seat controls. Now this control here actually just moves the front portion of the seat forward and back. This moves the entire seat assembly forward, backwards, down, and up. And this moves the rear portion of the seat assembly forward and back. Controls are the same for the passenger. If you've ever seen an older Maserati, especially like the Ghiblis or the Quattroportes, this armrest looks familiar. It's actually very, very soft in touch. It does open up to reveal storage in the center armrest. Overall, I feel like the interior, even for its age, is actually very well thought out. It's a very nice place to be. The seats are very comfortable. I feel like the materials actually have a pretty nice feel to them. Some have low quality, but that's to be expected from the Chrysler section. But like all the leather and stuff feels really, really good. Here we have a manually dimming rearview mirror. This little toggle switch here actually turns on 2 map lights. You got more leather here in the header. Sun visors are nice and large. They have large illuminated vanity mirrors. And of course the sun visors swing out, but they do not slide out or have extension rails. This lever here is actually the release catchers for the header latches for the removable hardtop. Alright, let's take a look at behind the seats now. We're going to reopen the door. And the seat backs do fold forward. There's a little lever down here. It's kind of hard to hold on to, but it does move the seat forward. As you can see, you do have seat back mat pockets, but notice that there is no back seats back here. It's actually just a storage area, much like a business coupe or a convertible, like the Elante or the Riata from Buick. That tonneau cover actually houses the manually folding soft top. But as you can see along the waterfall section back here, it does have door speakers. It's all leather wrapped. And you've also got this gathered leather that duals as storage pockets. You got your tonneau release and your top release here. All your wiring for your rear defrosters. Of course, you have more door or speakers back here. And you have this odd looking door here. Has these rub strips on it and everything's chrome plated. You'll notice the handle here, it's actually lockable. If you open it up, it reveals the spare tire. It also has a jack and tools. It's illuminated. You have some storage back here. And you have your jacking instructions. In addition to that, there's also additional illumination back here. Alright, say you want to open the trunk, there's a couple ways you can do that. Inside the glove box, at the top portion of it, it's kind of hard to see, there's a little button here labeled trunk, and if you press that button there, it'll actually release the trunk. Or the other way is you can take that single bladed key, blade side up, put it right inside the hole in the penetrident, and then we'll open the trunk that way as well. As you can see, it is actually supported on 2 hydraulic struts. It is a very heavy trunk lid, very high quality feeling, fully lined, fully carpeted. It's also illuminated. As you can see, the trunk well is actually relatively deep. It's in addition to the behind the seat storage, and we got some extra upholstery here. But as you can see, it's fully lined, fully carpeted. It's actually rather large for a vehicle of this size. Official capacities haven't been published, but I'm guessing probably around the 12 to 14 cubic feet. Closing the trunk is really easy. And that does conclude today's in-depth review of the 1991 Chrysler TC by Maserati. If you like this review and would like to see more like it, please comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/neighborhoodcarreviews and Instagram at BrensoJ1. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.